Alright, hey Mark Crilley. There's some questions I'd like to ask you, like, in order to, go into a career of, say, um, drawing, manga, comics, or, illustrating for manga comics and things like that. Illustrating in general, drawing, a career of drawing, what should I do besides like going to art school? Is there anywhere I should go? Anywhere where things like that would be best for me to go? Um, and like, what recommendations do you have for me? Because I don't know. In what is it? I'm 10th grade now. I don't really seem to want to be in like anything that like I'm good at, other than drawing. Like this, what is it? I'm gonna have to quote a video that made me think of this. I can't remember who narrating this quote, and he said, um, one thing I tell people is if they had all the money they needed for life, what would they want to do? And most people answer an artist or a writer or an author. It'd be the same thing. You know, something that isn't normally what people go for careers, not like your high-paying jobs that people are always trying to find. And I don't quite care 100% about money, and I kind of do, but ever since I've saw that video, I've been asking myself, what do I want to do? And the answer keeps coming back to how I love to draw and how I want to draw. And the only person I really look up to in that aspect would be you, because you're like the only person I know. I know there are probably many more that actually interact with their audience that draw manga and have an actual, like, are renowned per se. Because of this, I was wondering, well, I believe I said it before, what choices should I make to get there? What should I do to get to making my own manga, my own anime, all that kind of stuff? I mean, I have quite the, well, it's not that large of a collection. It's quite various of a collection per se, because I'll go from things like this, to this. So from comedy to fantasy to science fiction. So, and I believe I have more varieties than that. I also have one that's kind of a cross between comedy and fantasy. And I do watch a lot of anime. I prefer anime, Japanese anime, over most actually American television. I've told my mom, because I love the Japanese food, like a lot of cultural things, way more than over here. I've told my mom I think I should have been born in Japan. People have told her, with the way you're raising that kid, he's not going to fit in society here. Kind of things. It wasn't exactly those words, but it was like, my mom never really fit in with, like, everyone enjoyed her company, everyone, all that. But, she never quite followed society's norms, per se. She's very environmentalist, she's very try new things, she's very have different things. Like, well, I'd have to say the main thing that first started making me different would actually be food. And then, yay, food. Everything from, say, Japanese food or Indian food that we'd have caused me to look at other things and think of, you know what, just because it's different doesn't mean I won't like it. And that had went over through all horizons of what I do and all that. And with with literature, I read anything from The World According to Garth to 1984 to Keys of the Kingdom to... I suppose I don't read romance novels. That's the one thing I don't read. And I could actually see myself liking those. Just the fact that everything in both anime and manga, I get like a little skittish little schoolgirl, and whenever there's some kind of romantic themes going on in there. And sad to say, I don't have any of your manga, which would be something I'd really love to have. But I do have a copy of this, and I have 4 other how to draw books, and those combined don't come to the usefulness of this one. So, good job. That's all I can say in the least. Another thing I want to show you is where to me I believe my interest in comics and drawing kind of originally stem from, that I have. We would have to be for school. I draw little comics to fill my journal entries because I didn't want to write. I don't ever like to write. I prefer to draw things out. That's the difference. I like telling stories, but I don't like having to say the words. I like to have the image be there. Almost like a movie maker, except for the fact that I want to draw the images, and I want you to be able to go back to it. So that's what I like about comic books, and this is fairly poorly done, 7th grade and all. It's kind of odd to see that that's my abilities then, and then to see my abilities now. I mean, they're not that much greater, but they're a lot better than what they once were. I mean, the fact that I can even get any form of proportion right is a miracle. Ever. And the fact that I can even, draw anything, in my opinion, is somewhat of a miracle. And people are always telling me, "Oh, you're such a great drawer, you're such a great artist." And like I can kind of see it, but I don't feel like I'm as good as what people act like I am. And so I've decided I'm going to show you one of my most recent attempts of starting a manga comic. So far it's going pretty well. I need to draw some more into the background of some of the panels and add more shading and touch up on the drawings. And this is more of like a rough draft as well, so kind of like a rough do of things. And yeah, I've put it in how American comics would be, so it's not like the Japanese comics where it goes from up, down, right, left. It goes left, right. So, but to me, it wouldn't quite matter how it went, so long as I'm getting what the drawings in. And yeah, at the moment, what is happening is there's our character sitting watching TV, waiting, and then what happens is he hears a religious broadcast about the 6, as it is currently, goddesses. Spoiler alert that there's actually 7, and no one remembers them because one of them was evil and banished. And then he becomes slightly enraged and then decides to just laugh it off and then kind of mock it. And then you hear a bunch of church bells chime, and then what happens is the character realizes that only one person has survived the war so far. And what happens is that character feels crushed because they know that the person they care about is probably gone, and they're having a tough time accepting things like that, and I like that. But what's gonna happen later is they're gonna be drafted because, well, people are just gonna have to be picked up from the war and just basically thrown in. I made a short story that related to this, only I ended it where the character dies instead of, actually living, and then becoming some great warrior kind of thing. I also want to kind of tie in a little bit of a love plot thing. Not quite to where it's, kind of cheesy and pointless, but I want there to be something, because I just seem to like that when that's in there. It also seems to develop the characters more to me. It makes them seem more real, the fact that they have desires just like us. But enough about that. And then, yeah, that's about it. I can't think of much else other than the fact that I'd like that question to be answered. So, yeah. Is there anything else I'd want to show you that I have? No, I don't think there is. Yeah. Well, that's it, Mark. Maybe I can talk to you again sometime. Bye.